Um, I've always made art ever since I was a tiny child, and actually ended up getting degrees in painting and sculpture. At that time, I was very abstract, vaguely figurative. Um, then I worked in Manhattan for 10 years in corporate America. When I stopped that chapter of my life, I started making art again. And despite everything I had done in the past, suddenly I'm creating very realist, contemporary realist pieces. And because my mindset was that I wanted to create things of beauty that people needed to, could feel, take away a feeling of peace or happiness from, and hopefully want to live with them forever.
Inspired by the water, inspired by nature. I try to throw out there what I see. I don't see things as normal people do. I just see weird shapes and objects and try to put it together and try to do it with particular colors and see what happens. The paint controls it, I don't. So.
My ritual is, there is a ritual, but it's not like it's about things. It's about walking in there and focusing my thoughts and my heart and my feelings. And so what I will do is get my drink ready, which for years was a Diet Mountain Dew. I'm a caffeine person. Trying to get away from that. And my dogs have to get settled. The dogs are underneath the table. It was a huge golden retriever, and now it's a bunch of little tiny things. But my dogs are there, and then I put the music on. The music's huge, and I just breathe. And from there, I start painting. And I'm not thinking about a plan. I'm just thinking about where I am right now. And that's why I call it a lifestyle. It's part of my being centered in the world and about knowing how to be me in this world.
So I might be kind of interesting / funny because I'm the youngest person in this show, but I really like best of the 80s, like 90s alternative, rock ballads, and probably some film scores. I'm a big fan of Hans Zimmer, but I keep the pop and the upbeat music for my workout playlist. It kind of just helps when I'm listening to something a little bit more soothing or moody. It translates a little bit better into some of the more dark pieces that I make.
Well, I definitely work on, for my pieces, for my paintings, I have to have Belgian linen. I occasionally will work on a panel just out of sheer desperation, but I love the Belgian portrait grade linen because it is a surface with long fibers that the color sits, the pigment sits up on top of and is not swallowed by the texture of the canvas. So for me, it makes a more vibrant, rich surface, and it's also one that I can get more detail. And beyond that, I just feel you should, the paints themselves should be just the best you can buy.
I'm doing hand-built vessels, yeah, and I'm just finding my way with that. I'm just a baby with clay, but I like to have a primary medium that I use during the day that's my full focus and that I put all my energy into. And then I like another thing that I do that I can do in the evening or before daylight, things that are just kind of like a secondary, and clay is that right now for me, so I relax with it.
Particular stay has always stood out to me because this is probably the best example that still exists in my work of the alcohol gel transfer process. I do start with this process a lot in a lot of these works. It is my skeleton of sorts, but it's almost always drawn back over so you don't see it. It's completely covered up. It's just a starting point. So it's very rare to see what the alcohol gel transfer looks like in its entirety. And also this is actually a pretty good one because it lifted pretty well. There's some decent amount of detail in the leaves here, where usually it's pretty inconsistent, kind of muddy.